Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapichet. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much as always for joining us. We appreciate you guys joining in on this fantastic hot summer post 4th of July Sunday evening. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July, and I hope everyone kept their fucking fingers, because I heard a lot of pops. I heard a lot of big old booms out in my neighborhood. And, those illegal, we have a place here right off out of a town called Moapa where you can go and get some really killer fireworks. But holy hell, are they dangerous. And they sure as hell scare the living crap out of my dogs. So I hope everybody had a great fun but safe 4th of July. This is the 4th of July, the post 4th of July, hangover show, as we can say, because this year the 4th of July landed on a Friday, so I'm sure there were a lot of people partying into the wee hours of Sunday or Saturday morning. But we got plenty to talk about here for you guys, because we are roughly about a week away from a little under a week away, I should say, from the Ring Magazine Card 3, or Ring Magazine 3 card, which is headlined by Shiraz and Berlanga, co-main evented by Zepeda and Shakur. We are definitely going to get into very much details with that one, because that one's going to be good. That one's going to be a solid one, and we're definitely going to go into detail on that one. We're also going to be talking about stuff primarily outside of the ring, the issues that now Chavez Jr. finds himself in. We don't know if we're going to see that guy back in the U.S. anytime soon, at least. So we definitely want to talk about that and his hardship that he's going to be experiencing here already. And then on top of that, more stuff outside of the ring with Devin Haney and a restraining order that is now being placed on top of him, amongst other things. And a little bit of maybe a lot of bit of favoritism from Turki Al-Sheikh towards one Zepeda or Crawford or anything. We found out a little bit more information. We did a little bit of research from last week's card regarding, standing on the right or the left of one Turki Al-Sheikh. So we will definitely get into those details, because we got some answers for you. But before we get into all of those good topics, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How is your weekend going?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? I'm doing better than Chavez, I can tell you that.
Oh, yes.
um, 4th of July wasn't as crazy in Tracy as it usually is. It was real windy out here, and I think the more responsible people were like, we'll lay off the fireworks tonight. We still had some knuckleheads out there that were blowing them off, but yeah, I think the weather conditions kept everyone a little bit safer this year. So no, it did not sound, in my opinion, it did not sound like there was a war going on in our skies this year. But they blow them off every night for about a week here afterwards. So I'm sure I'm gonna be tired of it by next Sunday. Yeah, definitely feel like that's gonna be a thing coming up in the next week with as many that weren't sounded off on 4th of July.
It seems like they were like, let's make up for it. The weather was kind of like putting us in a position on Friday where we couldn't get the good ones out. But after the weather cooled off and there's not enough, there's not much wind. They're going to try to make up for the rest. And I did hear more actually last night, yet again. And granted, here it's almost like the week of. It's like the week of leading up to the 4th of July, and then of course 4th of July weekend throughout. So I have heard my fair share of like boom, just random, like, oh crap, hell, just out of nowhere. And of course my dog freaks the fuck out. He hears anything and he barks at anything as it is, and we're hearing dogs across the street and our neighbors losing their shit as well. So it was quite the 4th of July. And as I mentioned, I hope everybody kept their fingers, for crying out loud, because I've read some stuff online already, people who've
Now,
had quite serious next. What's up?
Miguel, the weather in Las Vegas, how are you guys doing? I'm seeing a lot on the internet. Is this stuff real? Is it fake? The wind?
Well, no, the wind, well, this week leading up was bad, dude. It was, but here's the thing, though. It's so brief. Like, it'll be 6, 7, 8 minutes of hard wind. And I mean, like, throwing trash on my garbage can. I mean, on my front lawn. And then the big old dumpsters or the garbage cans, the ones that we put out every week for the trash can pickup, those will get flipped over and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was bad, but it's very brief. Like, it'll come and go. And then the rest of the day, there's just a light breeze. But we'll get some periods, dude, where it's just like, and then it rains just enough to dirty your car. Not even really like that bad, but yeah, it's
So
wacky,
still,
dude. It is
so,
hella wacky.
but you would say that the internet is exaggerating what's going on out there a little.
I would say so. Yeah,
All right,
it's
yeah,
hot now. Obviously, everything seemed to calm, so it's like friggin' it's an oven out there. Like your skin stings just being out there. But yeah, this week was some wacky stuff, but it was very temporary.
all right, all right. Can't
Yeah,
believe everything you see on the internet, I guess.
right. Exactly. You got to get your sources right.
Is
You
it-
got
yeah, there's
nowadays.
some guys that are like, this is biblical.
Guys, jeez.
You guys see the win that's happening today in Las Vegas?
Yeah,
Read read the Bible. I'm like, what's going on in
yeah.
Vegas?
Read chapter 6. This is the seventh plague, so make
Yeah.
sure to keep your children inside. Like, oh, okay, relax, homie. This, if you're trying to convince me to go to your church, it's not gonna work.
Miguel's like, it was all 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, bro, relax. Yeah, it blew some dirt into my lawn, but chill out. There ain't locusts or there ain't red in the rivers or whatever the hell they're trying to
Right.
call.
Right,
So
right.
chill out there. Pump the brakes on that. But as I mentioned, we got plenty to talk about. Right off the bat, we're going to get this one because this has been quite the story. So, shortly after Jake Paul defeated Chavez Jr. Last week or last weekend, was it 2 weeks ago? No, not last weekend. Yeah. So he immediately, this is my theory, he immediately called ICE and was like, you know what? I don't want to pay this fool. I'm picking this guy up. No, but apparently, Juan Chavez Jr. has been arrested and deported back to Mexico because of his ties to the cartel or cartels, some sort of criminal record, what drug possession, there was a bunch of other stuff that I've read. Everything from, let me see, Chavez Jr. arrested by ICE over alleged cartel ties. This is what it says here. It says Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, has arrested Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in California and begun proceedings to deport him, citing cartel affiliations, multiple criminal convictions, and an active arrest warrant in Mexico for weapons trafficking and organized crime. Holy hell. So apparently he's linked to the Sinaloa cartels and faces some serious charges. And then the Department of Homeland Security flagged him as a threat, but let him re-enter the U.S. at that time. However, since then he's been deported, or in the process of being so. Seems as though we're probably not going to see. If we're going to see any more videos from Juan Chavez Jr., chances are it's going to be him in Mexico and no longer in the U.S. But if this is Jake's way, Jake Paul's way of not paying the fighters, it worked. No, but yeah, what do you make of this, Andrew? This is kind of crazy, huh? It's like we're 1 week ago, we're like, damn it, Travis, you're like, bro, you're supposed to be defending the sport. Now he's out the door.
Well, not only that, I mean, I think if you guys remember 1 week ago, we were asking that he doesn't embarrass his father's name.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that one?
I do.
Don't embarrass the name. And today we're talking about ties to organized crime and possibly the end of Chavez Jr. Not only for him being in America, but just for us just knowing or seeing him. This thing doesn't end well. It really don't. It ends with him either turning on the cartels and becoming a informant, right? Becoming what do you testifies against them, gets put in protective custody. It ends with him going to prison. We're never going to see him once he gets in there. So, or it ends with him dead. The worst one is the cartels reach him before anyone else.
Yeah.
Right. And he's
which
out
is
of here.
very possible. Which is
very
possible. They find a way.
Yeah. Chavez better hope he doesn't know any kind of information. I hope he was smart enough to walk out of every room when the big boys started talking. Because if he thought he was a big boy, he's about to get treated like one when he hits that prison system. Yeah, it's a sad situation for Senior. He gave that young man everything. Unfortunately, he gave him a lot of bad habits too. And I think we talked about that many times on not only Mad Boxing, but Fight Net Radio, that Chavez Jr. was just born. He was born in a time where Chavez was already king. He's already the man, and this is all the kid really seen was the limelight. lifestyle. Yes, he did see his father fall, but I think Chavez has always kept his head above water enough to where he didn't really see the bad side of like a boxer falling to bankruptcy, right? I don't think Chavez ever went that low. Seems to always have a job. He seems to always been involved in boxing somehow to keep his head afloat. And he's really treated like royalty. For as what I see about Chavez Sr. in Mexico, they treat him like Ali over here in the States. It's a sad day for him that he has to go through this. His son now tied. And look at you guys. This isn't just about, oh, they used Chavez Jr.'s plane for a little, you know, they were just transporting some stuff. They used them. They are talking about him actually participating in human torture.
Like an enforcer or something.
You know how bad that is? He was literally beating people up that were hanging as heavy bags. Now, look, this is all speculation right now, right? But they did just have one of El Chapo's sons turn, right? Isn't one of the Chapo's sons? He's going to plead guilty here in a few months. And he turned. He became an informant. What did he tell them? Is he the one that gave them the... Do they have information straight from, you know, the boss himself? Like, nah, we used to have Chavez, you know, work him over a little.
Dang.
It's a terrible look. Hold on. Getting my air conditioning put on right now. My AC is being fixed right now, live.
And not by you, the expert?
Nah. It's my apprentice.
There you go. There's apprenticeship going on in the Lapichet household.
But so yeah, dude, terrible look. This isn't gonna end well. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this and how he's gonna get out of this untouched. To me, it's over for Junior. Look, we knew about the cartel ties. We've joked about it here on this show. He's married to the former daughter-in-law of El Chapo, right? There's a significant tie. I want to say somebody's a godfather in that family. El Chapo's either Chavez Jr.'s godfather or like Chavez Jr.'s kid.
Oh, that I don't know. I know Chavez Jr.'s godfather is or was Jose Suleiman from the WBC. That I remember. If I'm not mistaken. Shit. I mean, Jose's passed since then, of course, but I want to say that's what it was. I don't know if there's any sort of connection with Chavez Jr.'s.
And El Chapo's family.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I want to say there was even a tie like that. I was like, wow, these guys are really close. You know, you didn't know they were that close. You know what I mean? And then we have the incident a few years ago where that cartel boss made the post from Instagram. He was at one of Chavez's fights.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So he's always had ties to these guys, right? It's very likely that Instagram post might be involved in this case. How, you know, what if the young man did get a ride from Chavez or something on his plane to get into the country, right? So there's your transportation thing right there, right? So yeah, not looking good for Junior. Sad ending to a sad career. It was
yeah, I'm happy you said it that way because I thought you were gonna be like sad ending to a great career. It's like, well, no, but
nah.
you beat me to it. You said, nah, it's been a sad career, especially the latter half of it, huh?
All embarrassment, man. He's been nothing but an embarrassment. I asked him not to embarrass his dad this final fight. He at least said, okay, I won't embarrass him for the fight, but literally right after the fight, bro, I'm about to get arrested, bro. Hey, Dad, you're not gonna like these charges, don't? Yeah. Have you ever seen a rich kid get human torture? Get involved in fucking human torture, bro? Like, really? That's what you decided to wake up and do? You had it all, man. You literally have it all. You could literally get in the ring and make $1 million, yet you decided to wake up and go beat up someone for a cartel that morning.
Well, I mean, it's a lot easier than going and getting in the ring and getting beat up, right? I mean, like it's a lot easier than going and waking up at 4 in the morning, going, jogging and doing the road work and doing the weekend day in day out in the gym and prepping for the fight, dieting for the fight, restricting yourself, putting that all that stuff is hard, right? That's one of the things that I appreciate about these fighters is they have to go through this struggle through training camp. It's a lot easier for Chavez to go beat up some dude and get paid bank than to put some time in the that allows him to wake up at noon and go to the gym.
That's a lazy answer. He was a millionaire when he first stepped in the ring. He was already making $1 million deals. All he had to do was get in the ring, man. He didn't need to build up a career. He didn't have to do nothing. So no, I don't.
He still needed the discipline, though. He still needed the discipline. That's
he didn't, because his career was bullshit, and he would eat Cheerios at 8 p.m. at night.
Well, to stay at 160 for as long as he did,
I'm just playing a little. You know what I'm saying, Miguel. It's just weird that that's a kid in his position decided to wake up and go be a thug. You know how pathetic you would look in America? Seriously, I don't know what the culture is like over in Mexico with this kind of thing, but a rich kid in America waking up and going and doing something for the Bloods or Crips would be eaten alive. You'd be eaten alive. Like, you're such a fucking moron, bro. You literally had it all, and you decide to be a Blood today? You know what the Bloods are going to do to you when you get in the fucking prison system? You know what the Crips, the Norteños, Sureños, whoever you want to say. I'm not trying to. They're all the same fucking pieces of shit, right? Any organization you're dealing with, you know what those guys are going to do to the rich kid? They're going to tax him right off the fucking top, right? As soon as he gets in, he's buying dinner like every fucking night.
Just for stupidity alone.
Yeah.
Just for that. It's like, we'll whoop your ass just for being dumb enough. We did this because we had to, fool. You did it for being dumb.
And now you're the enforcer. You're immediately the enforcer of the cell block, right? Whoever's in charge of that bitch, he's got a new bodyguard. So your life is fighting behind bars, right? Hope the other guy doesn't bring a little pokey with them because, sorry, Chavez, they're not all throwing blows in fucking prison. You'll have an advantage. You'll have an advantage until they pull that thing out their ass.
Yeah, until you're doing bench pressing something, and all of a sudden 3 dudes come up behind you, and then your ass is dead meat there. But that's gonna look. For his sake, we hope he just complies with everything, and they cut him some slack, or there's some sort of plea deal or some sort of deal, right, for him coming clean and letting everybody, I guess, naming names and then disappearing, because that's really his best bet is just, saying what he has to say, saving himself some jail time, and then just disappearing, going out and getting, I don't know, facial plastic surgery to, change the way he looks so nobody recognizes him anymore. But that's probably his best bet is if he's got to talk, save his own ass, but he's got to disappear.
If he was a part of beating people up, disciplining in the organization, he gets what he gets, in my opinion. That's a terrible life he chose to live. He deserves the consequences. I'm really not a guy. I don't really like the whole the snitch thing. I hate it when they have enough evidence and they still let someone go, right? It's like, you guys had tape, you had the gun, you had everything yet. Oh wait, but he wants to talk. So you know what? We'll make it even more bulletproof if we get this guy to talk. And it's like, wait a minute, he was involved. It just drives me insane. No, I'm not a fan of that. I hope if Chavez was participating, doing cocaine, thinking he was a cartel guy, thinking he was big boss man, and beating the shit out of people while they were hung on a hook, you're fucking done, in my opinion, man. You're out of here. There's no place in the streets for him. So it is a sad day for Chavez Sr. I know you don't want to lose a son that way. And then the embarrassment that seriously his son has put him through. At least he has 2 other kids, or 3 other kids. I know he has a daughter too. Hopefully they turn out to be good kids and they could rebound off their parenting. But yeah, right now it's a reflection of the dad and the mom too. When your son is this much of a fuck off, and I gotta add in there, he had all the advantages that normal people don't,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Mexico. I want to say Chavez wasn't even raised in Mexico, I don't believe, bro. I want to say that young man was raised like right on the border. Don't get it twisted. The little city that he was raised in was probably all Spanish-speaking community anyways, but it was still America. So he had that going for him. He wasn't even raised really in, where is it, Culiacan?
Yeah, Sinaloa. Yeah.
Sinaloa, yeah, Culiacan, Mexico. He wasn't even raised there, bro. Like he literally went back and put his own feet in this shit.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, and is there? And I was looking at some of these articles. Is there any mention to when he did this? Like, what year was it? I mean, how early or how recent was any of this stuff? I mean, it sucks that it surfaces now. Not before the fight or anything like that.
Well, look, we got to say that it's also ICE is out there looking for guys that have warrants, right? Where the other administration, look, you're hearing a lot of things like they don't have a criminal record here. Well, that's great. They don't have one here, but what the fuck? If they're wanted in Mexico for murder, you might want to send the guy back for murder.
We might be able to prevent something from happening if we kind of take action now based on what he's done over there.
He's been solid for 3 years. You asshole! I'm just kidding.
He showed up to training on time for the last 6 weeks. He made it to his rehab class on time every day. Okay, he swiped in.
Let me tell you, if I was running from the cartels and human torturing charges, I would probably be an angel in the next country that I got to too, bro. Right. You might be like, what? Uncle Andrew did what? That guy is awesome. He goes to church every Sunday. Come on now.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's how he got those illegal fireworks. Oh, he did. He has some connections there, huh? It's like, wow, we're connecting the dots now with Uncle Andrew. Wow, what's going on over here?
That's what they're saying. That the charges have always been there. The administration just chose to, they go after certain people, and certain people get lost in the shuffle. Well, this time he didn't get lost in the shuffle, and actually, the administration put out Chavez went big. He went all the way to the White House. You guys, seriously, his name was being talked about. The administration wanted to show that the cartels don't have the power over here in America. Even if you get to your biggest athletes, singers, you might be able to get them to cooperate. America will no longer cooperate, and we're bringing everyone down, is what they were saying in their little announcement about this arrest. So it was kind of a shot to the cartels also that your power is limited over here.
Yeah. And they're like, and we know where he's going to be on the 28th of June. It's going to be in Anaheim, California. We'll be waiting for his ass there.
Hey, they're lucky. Hey, Jake Paul's lucky they let him get the fight. Right?
I know, right?
They could have arrested him they could have been real jerks and arrested him at the fight, walking in. So
I'm telling you, it's like, all right, Jake Paul's like, all right, okay, he's going to be here, but don't get to him yet. Don't get to him yet. Wait until after the fight. Then, by all means, but just wait until before I put the money in escrow.
That's a very interesting twist to see if the payday does go to Chavez. I mean, seriously, if he gets wrapped up in a huge court case over there, Jake Paul could be like, well, I didn't know who to write the check to. I mean, what do you want me just to send it to the prison? What's your number? I need your prison number.
Like, who would I make the check out to? Department of Homeland Security.
I don't know what yard to send this to.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry, Charles. I was just waiting for you to get your stuff figured out. Oh, 15 years later, 25 years later.
All I know is you can send white shoes to Witzel. I don't know.
White
sneakers. I don't know anything beyond that. All right. Can I send you a check? I don't know. Can I send you a cake with a song in it?
Through buying them stuff off yeah.
You're like, Chavez, I won't pay you with money. I'll pay you with cigarettes. Okay. That'll make you a rich man.
We bought you a TV that one month, huh? You liked it?
Mm-hmm.
You like? Okay.
We gave you a prepaid debit card.
You got shoes every month.
Yeah. You got a better cot in your cell, right? You got cigarettes. That'll make you a very rich man behind bars.
All right, Chavez. What the
Lord.
fuck?
Well, so much for not embarrassing the sport, or embarrassing the last name any further, or dragging it to the dirt any further. Clearly, what he's done in the sport of boxing wasn't enough. In his opinion, he needed to do even worse. So we'll wait to see what happens and what unfolds from then on. But yeah, we're probably not gonna see Chavez Jr. anytime soon. Oh man. Well, that does lead on to the second topic of today. Chavez's opponent, one Jake Paul, because he has now entered the rankings of the WBA, I believe number 14. So, if I'm not mistaken, there has now been, there's going to be some sort of review by the WBA. Everybody, there's a big backlash for from this announcement, right? That Jake Paul is going to be, that is now ranked number 14 by the WBA at cruiserweight, I guess. And there was such a public backlash that everybody's like, hold the front door, what's going on here? So now the WBA is like, oh, okay, we'll review this. Then I'm sorry, we'll go ahead and review it. Everybody has been basically trashing Jake Paul, right? We know that this is everyone doesn't want to see him succeed in this. Everybody wants to say, hey, you know what? As soon as this guy faces a top dude, he's going to get his ass beat. Now it seems like he has a possibility of doing it, and clearly people are still not satisfied with it, to the point where his ranking is going to be very, very thoroughly reviewed. The few people that I have heard come out to defend Jake Paul, starting with Gabe Rosado. Gabe Rosado himself was on video saying, hey, look, I've been in the gym with him. I've helped him out. He is a sponge. He does listen. It seems as though he's legitimate in regards to trying to climb the ladder in this weight class. And although he has been, and Gabe Rosado, I'm saying, has been suggesting that Jake take it slower. He's got a few more fights to go before he's even ready. Granted, he can now fight for a belt because he's a top 15, but according to Rosado, he's saying, dude, not yet. Don't go. You got to trust the process. You got to not rush it, and you may still very well achieve it and get a title shot at some point. But someone else who has been defending one Jake Paul to a certain extent, at least, is our very own Andrew Labouche. Andrew, go ahead and let us know, bro. What's going on here? We talked a lot of smack about Jake. What's going on? Have you switched? Have you flipped on us? Are you switching sides here? What's going on?
Well, yeah, I felt I had flipped a few weeks ago or a few months ago, probably after the Tyson fight, where they did the numbers that we needed. Right, 46 million. I think Holmes tuned into that fight, somewhere around there. Look, do I want Jake Paul to take boxing serious and try to work his way up the rankings? No. Did anyone of you guys watch the Chavez Jr. fight? The dude fought a guy fucking 3 weeks out of rehab and barely won a decision, almost got taken out in the last 6 minutes. Chavez is nowhere near being ranked in the top 10. Hello? And now we want him to prove himself again? No, I don't want him to prove himself to shit. I want him to take on one of the bad boys, get his head knocked off, and we'll go back to the regular world. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the path that Jake Paul had? He comes to boxing. He immediately gives boxing a place on the mainstream media that we were losing, unfortunately. There wasn't too much mainstream media giving a damn about boxing. He then gets us on Netflix, and we're like, man, with Tyson, we're like, man, I hope this Netflix thing goes by good. Then maybe we can get more fights there. Guess what, you guys? Netflix has 2 fights planned, one coming up next weekend, I believe, right? The girls fight next weekend.
Yes.
Taylor Serrano,
actually, the 11th. So this coming up Friday.
Yeah, this Friday. Netflix is back with boxing. They just bought into the biggest fight boxing can deliver. One more time, Netflix bought the biggest fight boxing could deliver. We didn't have that without Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I never heard shit about Netflix wanting to get into boxing. It wasn't said until Jake Paul did it for us, and now we don't like the guy. Now, you need to prove yourself. Get the fuck out of here. The girls make more money than they ever have before. The guy needs to prove himself to you? Stop it. If the WBA don't want to give him a title shot, don't give him a title shot. That doesn't stop anything. But Jake Paul don't need to prove anything to anybody by going and picking some fucking contender that would never make $1 million in his life, most likely. And then all of a sudden he's going to make $1 million and fight Jake Paul? Get out of here. Jake Paul could do the same thing that he's been doing, still make money, and never have to deal with any of these titles. I don't see the guy winning a title. I'm sorry. I don't know what everyone's scared about. Why are we hating on this kid? Give him the platform. He's going to get beat. We'll all go back to normal, and we would have used him for his views, his fans. He got us into bigger places. Do you guys understand how big Netflix is? How many homes? Oh, and not only that, hey, I'm thinking of something on the fly. You know who texted me last night? You want to know who texted me last night, Miguel?
Who?
My mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, bro. Let me get the time. You want me to get the time for you guys? I'll get the fucking
we need
time.
timestamp. We need sources.
Yes.
In the meantime, let me read this quote that I got from Ring Magazine here in regards to the heavy criticism here. It says, due to heavy criticism and outrage from other ranked contenders, the WBA will review Jake Paul's cruiserweight ranking at their upcoming European convention in Madrid, which takes place on from July 15th to the 18th. The WBA ranked Paul at number 14 in his cruiserweight rankings after his lackluster win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. last Saturday. Chavez Jr. wasn't ranked at cruiserweight, and his last notable win came in 2012 at middleweight. Paul has never defeated a ranked boxer unless you count his quote-unquote fight with 58-year-old Mike Tyson. So, it's not just a public outrage, but also other ranking systems, other sanctioning bodies, it sounds like.
Which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine if the WBA wants to not give him a title shot, but don't tell Jake Paul that he has to prove himself by fighting some lesser contender. I don't buy into that.
But wouldn't it be him leapfrogging these other guys who have been putting in the work for however many years, who haven't got a point to where, because you said, will he win a belt? No. But will he get a crack at a belt before other people who probably are more deserving, I guess?
It's not the first time in boxing that an undeserving fighter got a shot at a title. Can we stop acting like Jake Paul's doing something that we've never seen this crooked ass organizations do before? Could have swore these guys have a meeting every year where they get bids on fighters to move up in rankings, right? Don't they go there? And yeah, I mean, come on, like if that's the system you work on, Jake Paul getting us on Netflix should guarantee his ass a title shot. If that's what we're doing here, that's the bid that he put in for boxing. I got you guys on Netflix. Netflix opened the door. Jake Paul opened the door. You know what Max Kellerman's saying? And you heard it here first, but Max Kellerman's saying it too, so we'll run with him. It's going to be the most watched championship fight of all time. And I truly do believe that because it's for free. Nobody knows. Boxing is the most popular sport in the world. It really is. Soccer's running a close heads up. I'll give them that. But there is nothing like boxing when you have two world-class fighters that grab the attention of the world. There's no sport like boxing. And I do think that because this is free on Netflix, America's going to see numbers that we've never seen before on this. Not everybody has to find a way to watch this fight. Everybody's going to be watching it. You know what I mean? It's just different. This one's different. So we don't have that without Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Give them both their flowers. Yeah, you know, Mike brought a lot of those views, but give Jake Paul his flowers. He's done it for this sport. He did it for women's boxing. We now have is it an all-girls card? I believe it's an all-girls card.
I don't think so. I'll have to look into that, but I don't think it's.
I know Alicia Bamberg is on the
Baumgardner.
Baumgardner's on the undercard.
And then I want to say maybe the commentators, like the color commentators, are all going to be women, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as like the rest of the fight card, I don't know right offhand. But I mean, I guess I'll check Serrano 3 card.
So my mother-in-law texted.
Oh yeah, the text.
She texted me at 11:07 a.m. I thought it was p.m. It was a.m. I'm watching the Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. They say that they're the best boxers ever. Is this true? Is the fight on the 11th? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Hey, Miguel, do you know when's the last time she texted me about a fight that was coming up in a week in advance? That's
I thought you were gonna say, when's the last time she texted me about anything? No.
oh no. She will, but seriously
Yeah.
about the fight, bro. She's seen it on Netflix.
Yeah. Damn.
It's already happening.
It's already spreading.
It's already starting, right? This is the casuals that we used to get with when you turned on HBO and it was a Saturday at noon. You're like, oh shit, what's this 24/7? It's really interesting. I really like that guy, that young man's career. Yeah, and I love his kids, and then they get tied into the fight. Boom, it's happening with Netflix. Must have had some kind of special on about the fight. My mother-in-law watched it, and now she knows the fight date, and now she will be tuned in. So we need to give him his flowers. Yes, does it mean he gets a title shot? No. If the WBA don't want to, fine. If the WBA does, I'm not going to sit here and protest the fucking thing. It's not the first time we've seen a guy that was not worthy of getting the title shot. Fuck, I could have swore the other day. What is Farmer like on his fucking 19,000 loss? He keeps coming back getting title shot. Like, what the fuck? Guy hasn't had a win. I don't know how long. No, I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying, though. But yeah, so I'm laying off of Jake Paul. Give him a shot. Don't give him a shot. Doesn't matter to me. He hasn't proven shit anyways. I don't know why you're trying to make him fight someone legit. He's going to lose. Hello, let me say it again. He's going to lose. Sorry, Rosado. I know you're trying to collect another sparring check or whatever the fuck he's giving you. Stop it with the guy's a quick learner. All he needs is 2 more fights. The fuck out of here. 2 more fights don't make you a world champion in boxing. Stop it. You're protecting the bag there. Nothing is going to make Jake Paul ready for the top 10. Nothing. Right? This is boxing, baby. You got to do this shit. You're in life sentence or you're not at all, right? You're going to get weeded out fast. Chavez almost weeded his ass out last Saturday in 6 fucking minutes. He really did. He hurt him. He was landing the bigger shots. He looked like the winner at the end of the fight. It did not look like Jake. Jake did great when the guy was a human punching bag. Once that guy started swinging, Jake did not look so good anymore. So you put him in with any hungry top 15 contender, he's probably going to get his ass kicked. With it being a fair fight, if you telling the young man, go across the ring and beat that dude's ass, I'm going with the lifer every single time.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Because that was, I think, everybody's biggest concern first and foremost was hold on, don't give him a crack at the belt. He doesn't deserve it. Other people, but realistically, yeah, it's not the first time somebody can jump the line. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time someone's going to jump the line. I'm sure it's going to happen at some other point. But, when we're talking about somebody like Jake Paul, who's under a lot of scrutiny, that's going to be, pointed out. And realistically, we're just kind of splitting hairs here because there has been plenty more who have gotten the title shot and deserved.
And have never gotten us on a platform like Netflix and gotten the title shot. You guys got to understand that Netflix deal, how big that is for a sport that was really lost at the time that Jake Paul landed that Netflix deal with Mike Tyson. We're losing ESPN, PBC. We don't even know if they're a business or what the hell they're doing. The Zone is in debt. You know what I mean? We're fucking over here begging Riyadh, His Excellency, to save this sport. Now this guy's got a bunch of fucking ideas. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on over there anymore. Not really feeling that whole thing right now. I'm not feeling the favoritism. I'm not feeling the new ideas, the new ways he wants to take the sport, the organization he brought in to guide that new way. No, I'm not digging any of it. So I don't know what I'm feeling over there. So Jake Paul, we needed Jake Paul to do what he did. He really got, now boxing, Canelo and Crawford, Serrano and Taylor need to close the deal on Netflix. They need to close the deal. They need to go out there. They need to perform. If Taylor and Serrano can give us the trilogy that we think we're going to get from them, they're going to do their side. It'll really be about Canelo and Crawford, man. Can Crawford pull off the upset? You know what I'm saying? Can he hang in there? We can't see an Amir Khan-like fight. It can't be a bang bang and he's out of there and it was all power and no tech, no skill, right? If we can close out the deal, I mean, what the fuck, man? What does Jake Paul have to prove? I say give him a title shot on the Netflix deal. That's my angle.
What if these fights don't close the deal? Like, for example, Serrano and Taylor 3, right? Their first two fights were close, but, a little bit controversial, especially with the headbutting from Taylor and all this stuff, right? Many people thought that the Serrano won the first one, or I probably even the second one. I forget which one's which. But point is, if we get another, fight like that, and it seems as though Serrano got the decision, but then it goes the other direction. Our fans going to be like, man, fuck this. This is why we don't watch boxing anymore. This is why this shit leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
That could happen. That could happen.
I mean, even Canelo and Crawford, let's say we get a type of fight like you're talking about, Amir Khan, boom, boom, he's out. It's like, what the fuck? This is what we waited for on Netflix?
That would be bad. That'll be bad. That'll be worse, let me say, than Taylor Serrano having a bad decision. I also got to say, people don't remember controversial things when the shit was for free. That's how baseball, the NBA, and the NFL get away with the shit year in, year out. You'll see some of the most blatant calls, bro. Fucking, they either didn't call them or they called them, right? And you're like, that wasn't a foul. That hella changed the game. Thing's a total fix. You'll have a billion people online going, you see that NFL game? What a fucking fix. We've watched refs move the ball, bro. Move the ball.
Yeah.
And fans show up the next Sunday. You want to know why? Because it's fucking free and it's entertainment. And boxing, what's bad about boxing was it was a rich man's sport. So when you feel like you're getting burnt and you're paid to watch it get burnt, there's a totally different feeling, right? Now it's like, fuck this thing. I'm never doing this again. When it's for free, people go, oh, yeah, that was some bullshit. But you know what? Yeah, I'll watch that next one. Is it free? I'll be there.
Is it on my, DAZN subscription? Is it on my NFL pack? All right, cool. I'll watch it again. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think there's going to be, I read earlier, there's going to be some sort of convention between the 15th and the 18th for the WBA. So we'll see if that changes to any extent. But we know, right, post fight after Chavez and Jake Paul, that Jake Paul and Zurdo were like face to face. So we know what the next move is. We anticipate it's already coming. Yeah.
Netflix couldn't have done it. They couldn't have done this tryout with two better fights in the women's and men's category. Am I mistaken by saying that? Serrano?
No, but we've already seen Serrano, Taylor twice already with controversial decisions. So granted, it's still the best two women, but it's something we've already seen. Are we going to see a different third fight? I mean, we talked about it already. Chances are it's going to be the exact same fight that we saw the first two times.
Gotti Ward is what I was thinking of. Right? And I think Netflix should do that. They should probably try to buy those two fights and air those things, because those girls put on those fights were considered the best two fights women boxing's ever done, right? The rematch thing. Now they're going into a trilogy where it could be the greatest trilogy women's boxing's ever seen. So Netflix has that fight going into their first women's pro bout could be the greatest trilogy the sport's ever seen. That's a huge fucking plus for boxing going into that one. And then when you look at the men's side, Terrence Crawford and Saul Alvarez on paper most likely are 1 and 2, 2 and 3 in the world, not just in their respective divisions, but in the world. You're looking at top 3, probably the 2 of the best men in the world at boxing. Netflix couldn't get 2 bigger fights to see what the actual radar is or the bar is for boxing's fan base. We have to show up. What I mean by that is, like, Serrano needs every fan. All the Puerto Ricans, all the Americans, everyone that has Netflix that watches fucking boxing better be tuning in to Serrano and Taylor. Can you imagine if women's boxing gets a 10 million, a 20 million hit on viewership? Right?
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
This is huge, bro. This is huge. And then Saul Alvarez and Crawford, I'm expecting it to break numbers. If we just have every fan that likes those 2 fighters, the numbers should be huge. To just stay home and watch them, the numbers should be huge for us.
It seems as though there is some sort. I haven't watched it, but there is some sort of countdown for Serrano and Taylor. I don't know if this is, yeah, it's 2025, so it has to be recent. Because I was looking at some of these. Because I saw an advertisement. I was watching Netflix earlier this weekend, and I was like, we talked about it before. Is there some sort of 24/7 type thing? It looks like there is some sort of countdown for it for them. So, yeah, it looks like they're getting a lot more publicity. I'm hoping they do something similar, right? I anticipate they will for Canelo and Crawford, but there is some sort of countdown show for Serrano Taylor 3. So I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna see what they got going on there to see how they spice it up, and get people's interest. They're already interested in it, obviously, right? But how to get more people interested in it.
This could catapult boxing even back into the mainstream sports if our numbers are big enough.
Mm.
Yep.
So on that note, moving on, what might not catapult us into mainstream? Tyson Fury making a comeback yet again. Looks like Tyson Fury has decided to return to the ring, even going as far as to say that there's going to be a trilogy or a third fight with Alexander Usyk in 2026. I don't think they specified when, but apparently that's the case. Now, I don't know if Fury's in the mix at all as far as like in the loop with what's going on in heavyweight boxing right now. But Usyk does have a fight with Dubois in a couple of weeks in the month of July, and it's going to be their rematch. So I don't know if he anticipates Usyk just walking through Dubois or what the fuck, but he's clearly looking ahead. And I'm talking about Tyson. Thinking that there's going to be some sort of third fight. Now, this is what the fourth time that Tyson has retired and come back, retired and come back, retired and come back. So I don't know if this is legitimate. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have believed that he would retire to begin with, But first off, this doesn't exactly set the world on fire. I think we kind of are over the back and forth of one Tyson Fury. I definitely don't think that the third fight between them is going to generate as much interest as what maybe Fury thinks will. But what do you make of this, Andrew? First off, him making a comeback yet again, and then claiming that he's going to fight Usyk in 2026.
This is for Europe, in my opinion. I don't think Usyk or Fury make a big splash in America. So I don't really see any of their. I don't think their trilogy is going to do great numbers, especially if it's on pay-per-view. It's so looking like.
You think we're even going to get it? You think we're even going to get that far?
If His Excellency wants to see the trilogy, yeah. And I don't have Dubois beating Usyk. Usyk's the favorite. He knocked the young man out in the first fight, correct? Or is it a decision?
No. I want to say he stopped him, but it wasn't like a knockout. I think like a TKO. Like
TKO, but still,
yeah. He stopped him.
He did stop. He does come off the canvas and then turns that whole thing around to where they wave it off. So with that, it's kind of hard seeing Dubois being like, "Yeah, I got Dubois coming back," and then now stopping Usyk. I didn't see that much special talent in Dubois. Dubois is a good fighter, but I still have Usyk the favorite. So let's say he wins. There's just not a lot of interest in Tyson Fury Usyk 3, in my opinion. That to me, that is better beef B-ball 3 all over again. They're gonna overpay. They're not gonna get that many people to tune in. That's not gonna be from Europe or Russia. For the other two, it'd be Russia. But they're not gonna get that many fans to tune in to make back the money that they're gonna need to put that fight on. It really matters how much money Riyadh is making off of these fights over in Riyadh and in Europe, because they're not making anything here yet. Bivol and Better Beef's being made again. So he made money somewhere, maybe. It's just not coming from America. You know what I mean? So I don't know where they're making money at on these ones, but I got to think that Fury and Usyk isn't going to be in that same ballpark. There's just not going to be a lot of interest from over the pond over here.
Did you believe Tyson when he last retired? Like, because mind you, he's out the door, right? I mean, obviously he's not a spring chicken anymore. It's understood that he's at that age where he's made the kind of money that he wants to make. His legs are not there anymore, right? Being beat twice by a much smaller Usyk, and there's no knock on Usyk. It's just that we saw how Fury fought somebody like Wilder and, really put his weight on him, right, and got him tired and stuff, but didn't do any of that against Usyk. But that's another story. Point is, 2 losses back to back, right, like that, and he retires. We're like, all right, cool. Yeah, go ahead for sure. If now you can ride off into the sunset. I'm sure he wanted to ride off into the sunset with a victory, and maybe a victory on that first fight, but maybe get that victory back in the rematch. That didn't happen, so a little maybe disillusioned, right? And said, okay, fuck it. Boom, I made plenty of money in these fights, and going back to the trilogy with Wilder, even, and there's no point in really staying around, right? Sticking around. So when I heard, all right, retiring, cool, but we were skeptical, right? And clearly we were right to be skeptical. Did you believe him when he said he was going to retire this most recent time?
It was probably 50-50. Look, obviously we had brought up the fact that the guy had done many retirements, so can't take this one serious. But there was also what is the word? He looked uncomfortable in Riyadh, right? Didn't know if he was really gelling with his excellency. Tyson Fury is a very outspoken person. They were trying to hush him on the religious side, right? Obviously, I don't think they ever allowed his dad. I'd never seen his dad, I think, in Riyadh. I don't know if his dad ever made the trip over there. Maybe just couldn't follow the rules, knew better than to go over there. Who knows? But I feel like the dad was never accepted over there. That might have thrown Tyson. There was just things I seen in Tyson Fury that I was thinking maybe he just didn't want to be a part of that crew, right? Those guys are over there bowing down to his excellency, bowing down to all their demands, and maybe Tyson was just ready to walk away. Now, look, they're saying it's not money. They say he's got about 140 million in assets and in cash flow in his account. So it's not a money issue that's making him come back. Fire maybe still there, thinking he can do it. Unfortunately, his last 2 fights, not only did he get beat, but in the first fight with Usyk, he actually gets saved from being knocked out, right? And that 9th round or whatever, that ref really did save him from being stopped. So you could say Usyk might even have a knockout victory on him if the ref allows him to land the final blow before he jumps in the middle there just to do an 8 count. I thought it was a TKO loss at the very least when the ref jumped in. He literally stops a punch.
Yeah.
He's like, no, don't throw it. Jumps in the middle. I'm like, oh, the fight's over. Then he starts doing an 8 count. Like, what the fuck? That was way worse than what happened in the Wilder fight, the long count that everyone proclaims happened in the Wilder fight. What the ref did in the Usyk fight, I thought was way worse. He literally stopped the punch mid-throw and then gives the dude an 8 count while he's out on the ropes. That was weird. So just not a good look for Tyson his last 2 fights. If it's on pay-per-view, I will not be purchasing. I don't give a shit what package you have. I got to tell you. Yeah, I don't care what bundle you have. I got to tell you, I'm a dummy. I don't spend my money right. I will buy the one pay-per-view that I like and fuck the other 3, even though you're giving me a deal. I just won't do it if I don't like the other fights that are attached to these bundles that you're putting out there. Ask the Zone. I never bought the yearly subscription. I'm an asshole. I only bought the monthly one. Don't ask me why. Everyone's like, you save money if you do the yearly one. Yeah, but if they piss me off, I'm going to just cancel. So fuck them. They can have the extra few dollars. That's how I play this bundle shit. Like, I definitely might get the fight next weekend, or most likely Cepeda Shakur will be the reason. It won't be Shabazz and fucking Berlanga. These 2 dipshits. That is such a fucking... It's such a B-level fight. We'll get into that later. But no, it won't be them. It's going to be Shakur and Cepeda that makes me get this fight. But yeah, so it doesn't matter what bundle you put it in with. Doesn't guarantee that I'm buying Usyk and Fury. Right now, if it's the only pay-per-view, no, I will pass on that one. I've seen that fight twice.
All right. You mentioned it's not the money that Fury's coming back for, right? You mentioned it might be the fire. Maybe it's the ego. Maybe he's convinced he can still beat Usyk because that's the first thing he said, right? It's like, all right, I'm coming back and I'm fighting Usyk a 3rd time, and it's going to be in 2026. Didn't say I'm coming back and I'm getting a tune-up fight, or I'm fighting someone else, or I'm fighting Anthony Joshua, or getting my beating Ngannou one more time or whatever the fuck, right? Any kind of
Right.
one of those, he went directly to Usyk. It seems as though it's an ego thing. No, like he just can't let that shit go. He's like, no, I can beat this motherfucker. Let me give it another crack. I can do it. Whether or not he'll actually get the opportunity to or not, but it seems like that's what it is. I mean, if you want to say it's the fire to beat Usyk, not everybody else. He's not coming back to make another run at the title. I mean, obviously Usyk has all the belts, so obviously I guess to some degree it is a run of the title. But it's not like trying to prove that he can beat Anthony Joshua or anything like that. It's like I'm gonna come and go after Usyk specifically. It's that the drive to beat him specifically.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, if he did proclaim that that's the only guy he's coming back for was Usyk, then obviously that's the fight that he wants. It's just really weird because it only leads to a fourth one, right?
Yeah,
If
right.
he was to pull that off, it's not like I don't think Usyk would just walk away. So it's just I really hate that the guy that lost 2 fights gets to dictate the third one anyways. But I don't think it's him. It's probably going to be His Excellency that wants to see this fight more than anything. Because why would a guy that has 2 defeats get to dictate the third one?
Mm.
What if Usyk says, no, I don't want to fight him. I've already beaten him twice. Why do I have to fight this guy again? Give me someone else. I want someone fresh. I want someone that makes me wake up in the morning and fucking – because he's making $80 million either way, right?
Yeah.
So he's making serious money either way. He does not need to fight Tyson Fury. So hopefully, Usyk wants to fight, and this isn't just something that His Excellency is pushing because he wants to see it. So we'll see. We'll see on that one. The heavyweight division doesn't have a lot to offer right now. I think we can also say that. So there might be a little bit of desperation on Rihad's season to get big heavyweight fights. And when they look at the board, come on, we're over here talking about a guy who's knocked out getting a rematch against the heavyweight champ. Not too many times that happens.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point that you mentioned. Like, what if Usyk doesn't want it? I know that it's just hearsay. It's just Fury coming back and saying, I'm making a comeback and I'm going to go straight after Usyk, and I want him in 2026. So obviously, there's nothing set in stone, no contracts are signed or anything like that. It's just him saying that. But I think it kind of. You hit it on the nail, or you hit the nail on the head there. Like, what if Usyk's like, no, dude, I'm not gonna fucking beat you. I already beat you twice. What the hell's the point of, like, Dubois is another story, of course. That they've only fought once and they're gonna have a rematch. But he beat, what's his name, Fury twice, right? He beat AJ twice. He might even come close, or I mean, chances are he's the favorite, going into the fight with Dubois, so he's gonna maybe beat him a second time too. And he's like basically cleaned out everybody but Wilder, who made a comeback recently in a pretty crappy ass fight. But maybe desperation, because I mean, did you see Fury? I mean, it's not Fury. Did you see Wilder and his comeback and the kind of shit show that was? I don't know if you saw it, but that was quite the shit show, where I guess what was at one point the 3-headed monster that I believe Max Kellerman described the heavyweight division as. Now it's just like, all right, well, we have one, and it's it's Usyk and a bunch of other bodies around him, pretty much people that he's already beat twice. So that's a good point. I wonder if I would like to hear Usyk's side of it. Like, are you interested in a fucking third fight with the motherfucker, even though you already beat him twice?
If Usyk financially is set, which he should be, this win with Dubois would be a nice walk off into the sunset, legacy wise, right? Because of what you said, he's basically cleared out the whole era, and there would be no one left, really. I mean, we can go to the rankings, but off top of my head, I can't think of anyone that would be left that would give him not only a legit shot of beating Usyk, but even a rise in his legacy, right? His all-time status. I don't think there's anyone left.
No. Well, Joseph Parker would be a formidable opponent, but to say that elevates his legacy to any degree, no.
Yeah, no, I don't. So,
and then on top of that, his close friend and teammate in Lomachenko just retired himself. So it's like, what a great way to do it. Like, all right, let me go ahead, because Lomachenko's last fight was a victory over Kambosos, I think, right? So winning the IBF title, I think it was at the time, and says, all right, going out on top. I went ahead and got this victory, and boom, I can prove that I'm still one of the top dudes in the weight class, and booked it. Maybe Usyk does the same thing. Maybe him and Loma are like, hey, dude, I think we're done, bro. You pretty much did everything you needed to do in the heavyweight division. Call it a career already. Because it would be crazy to have Fury say he's making a comeback to fight Usyk, and then Usyk goes and he beats Dubois, and then says, "All right, I'm done." Boom. Now Fury's like, "Shit. All right, I guess it's me and Dubois, I suppose, or I don't know what else there is to do." But yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if Usyk himself says like, "Yeah, this is it." I mean, obviously he's not going to say it before the fight, right beforehand, but it would be something. It would be something funny as hell for him to call it a career after he beats Dubois in the rematch, and all this hoopla about Fury coming back.
The
Oh man.
heavyweight division is at a really low right now. This
Mm.
is one of the worst top 10 we've had in a while. Usyk is number 1. Daniel Dubois is number 2. The guy that's already been knocked out by the heavyweight champ is still ranked number 2. That's bad. Ajit Cable is number 3.
Okay.
No, you don't even know him.
That first name sounds familiar, but I have to see his face. I'm bad with names.
Yeah,
I'm bad with names.
Joseph Parker's number
Okay.
4. Fabio Wardley. I want to say that didn't he move up? I believe
Oh,
he was a cruiserweight, if I'm not
was he?
mistaken. But
You might be right. Yeah, yeah.
Fabio Wardley is number fucking 5 in the heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua is still number 6. This guy was knocked the fuck out in his last fight. It's just weird, bro. This is so bad. Tyson Fury is number 7. Lawrence Okoli is number 8. Murat Gasayev is number 9, and Michael Hunter, the only American on there, top 10. Michael Hunter is number 10.
The bounty hunter. Damn, I haven't heard of that guy in a hot minute. So let's say Fury is true to his word and comes back, and let's say Usyk retires. Usyk is gone. What do you think? What do you think Fury does then? Does he say, "Okay, fuck it, never mind, I'm out of here, back retirement, a 5th announcement of retirement," or does he go after somebody like Anthony Joshua to get that fight that everybody's been clamoring for? Another European.
Unfortunately, the Usyk and Fury, they have a possibility of dragging this fucking career out. Those guys, that list of opponents that I just gave you guys, the top 10, I don't think they can fucking take out Usyk or Fury, even in these older stages of their career. That Fabio Wardley guy's hella small. Joseph Parker's been beaten by less. I know he's on a good run right now, but it's a good run versus B opponents. It's not the elite. Daniel Dubois has already lost. Joshua, come on. We're talking a shell of his former self. That dude's not beating any. Matter of fact, he already lost to Usyk. He shouldn't even get a shot at Usyk. Right. And Tyson, I would probably think, would beat Joshua Fury right now. So what I'm trying to say is whoever fucking grabs these 4 titles in that 3rd rematch probably is going to squeak out another year or 2 of collecting heavyweight championship money and not really being in that much of a risky fight. That's where the rankings are right now. We're going to go at this is going to be the dark ages for heavyweight boxing in America here soon. None of these have
been, well, for heavyweight American boxing, it's been
true. But we had Wilder, we had a little bit of noise going on with Wilder for a while. Michael Hunter's not Wilder at all. He's already taken a loss. He's already been, I think, knocked out. Yeah, this is why Fury's coming back. I'm sorry. He's probably hoping he might have inside information that Usyk's leaving with Lomachenko, bro. Don't get it twisted. He might have got that rumor and was like, "What? You mean the only rematches for me is or fights for me is Joshua and Parker? Oh yeah, I'll do that all day. Come on, Dad."
And I collect all the belts again.
Yeah, okay. Make another $100 million. Because those are the 2 fights off the top, right? If Dubois does good against Usyk, maybe he gets in even in a loss. Maybe he can fight Fury. But really, the 2 fights that Fury would be coming back for would be Joshua and who did I just say? Parker. Joseph Parker. Now, I know Parker's a stable mate, but money will be made.
Oh, yeah.
12-round decision.
Right. Glorified sparring session.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I hope that doesn't happen. Hope it doesn't sound that way because, again, you can only cry wolf so many times,
That's
Tyson, and we'll
that's
believe
the
you.
fire, Miguel. I just gave you the fire that lit up Tyson Fury's
That was it.
ass. It was the top 10 rankings, bro. Hey,
Oh,
shit, that's another 300 million, man. He said,
that,
"Come on, Dad. Going back to going back to me. You see, you heard E6 leaving after the ball."
like, give me the keys to that gym again. I gotta open the gym. Come on now. It's like, Dad, you want to go to Saudi Arabia? All right, start behaving, please. All right, we can make it happen.
Remember, we were all pumping up that bulky guy,
Oh, Bacoli.
Bacoli.
Mhm.
Those are the opponents Tyson's got waiting for him. Come on now.
Uh, well, that being said, my damn camera decided. There we go. It decided to not function here. All right. Well, on to the next topic. Not a great one. We hate when we come across news like this, but holy hell, we had to talk about it because it's in the news. One Devin Haney has had a restraining order placed on him because of a alleged, I guess we can say at this point, domestic dispute. Domestic, what's the word? With his, I guess, the mother of his his first child. So it seems as though she's going on record as to saying that he has done some physical stuff to her. Let's go ahead and read some of these here. It says, this is a judge. There's a quote from, I think, TMZ, the website. A judge just granted the temporary restraining order against Devin Haney. And now both sides, both him and the mother of his child, are due in court for a hearing on the matter on July 22nd. So a couple of weeks from now. Additionally, the judge ordered Haney to have no visitation with his daughter, Chrome, I think is how you say it, Khrome, Chrome. Haney, I guess, until further order of the court. The mother of Devin Haney's month-old child or daughter is seeking domestic violence restraining order against the star boxer, alleging he once pushed her to the ground while she was pregnant. Court documents TMZ Sports has obtained show Lena Sayed, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sayed, filed for a DVRO or domestic violence restraining order last week over allegations Haney abused her on multiple occasions throughout the past year and a half. Let's see here. This is the mother. Oh yeah, we read that part. She wrote in the restraining order that it all started in February 2024, roughly a year after she and Haney first met. She claimed during a dispute in their Las Vegas home, he punched her in the stomach and then kicked her out of the house. Nearly a year later, in December 2024, she wrote, Haney got violent with her once again when he pushed me while I was 9 months pregnant, causing me to fall on my tailbone because I would not give him my cell phone. After I fell, she added, he grabbed my phone and threw it on the floor and shattered it. Additionally, she said Haney threatened her earlier this month when he wrote in a text message to her that she would be handled in the streets. Holy smokes. When I asked what he meant by that, he stated, you will see. And there's a whole bunch of screenshots of that texting conversation. So, that's not looking very good for Haney here. She goes on to say, I'm afraid for my life, health, and safety. This is not an isolated event of the danger he placed on our daughters without concern, she wrote. So, this stuff is not taken lightly. This is pretty serious stuff, and we always want to err on the side of caution and say, he's got to be innocent until proven guilty. This is not looking too good. This is looking like it's the opposite here. This is looking like the what's the word? The specific examples that she's given is not looking too good. I'm not sure how much of a case he's going to have here to clear his name after a recent victory over Jose Ramirez and possibly, or it seems as though he's still going to be fighting who did we say that he was going to be fighting recently? I forgot the announcement, but he's going to be having a pretty major fight
Brian
coming up
Norman.
here. That's right. That's right. Brian Norman Jr. for his WBO welterweight championship. So whether or not that fight is still on the table, I don't know, because again, there is going to be a hearing in a couple of weeks on the 22nd of July. Holy shit!
Now there's a hearing. There's a hearing for what now?
Let me see. Let me go back to it here real quick. A judge just granted a temporary restraining order against Haney. Now both sides are due in court for a hearing on the matter on July 22nd. So on the dispute, on the domestic violence dispute.
Or the custody?
Well, it says additionally, the judge ordered Haney to have no visitation. So he said additionally. It seems like that's a separate thing. So it could be the custody. It may very well be just like the dispute itself. Devin coming to try to clear his name and saying, no, this didn't happen because XYZ. I don't know. But it seems as though the custody part is a separate matter. It looks like, at least according to this TMZ article.
All right. Well, if he's going to face charges for the assault, that's not a good look. And look, it's he say, she say. If she's going, oh, last year he pushed me. That, I don't know how they're gonna.
Well, there's no statute. The statutation was, I forget the word that they used. Statute of limitations. I don't think there's like a time limit on that. Obviously,
no, but if there's no proof, if there's no proof, right? It's a he say, she say issue. What's not is him texting, you're going to get it in the streets. Those are threats.
Sure.
Those are threats that are now documented. We all know text messages don't go away. Even if you shatter a phone, you dipshit. That only makes you look hella worse that you tried to destroy the phone because you knew those were on there. That's what they're going to say. We even now know, I don't know, did you hear about was it Xbox went into their chat server and pulled out a chat online to help a guy get committed into a, I think it was a murder, don't hold me to that. It was some kind of bad crime he had committed, and he talked about it on a chat room. And the chat room,
but like a chat room, or just like talking like this,
like talking like, when you're playing video games, dude. He was on the Xbox. Say he's playing COD, and he was talking to people about what he did on his mic. Xbox was able to go into the server and pull that conversation out and take it to, and the courts played it. So this is how much they are recording us nowadays, right? You breaking a phone doesn't mean text messages go away.
I know. It's like delete.
Hey, what was the movie with Ben Stiller when they're acting? They were monkeys. There were two models, and she's all. The password is in the computer, and he smashes the fucking computer. Right? That's Devin Haney.
Zoolander. I think it's Zoolander.
The text messages are on her phone, Devin. Okay,
Yeah.
the phone.
It's like you gotta do it. Like they're not coming out. They're not coming out of the phone, guys. Oh gosh, Devin.
The judge won't be able to see those now, will they, bitch?
Who's a dumb one now, bitch?
Dumb one now.
Oh Lord.
No, hasn't we got a good run for Devin since the Ryan Garcia? Here, I thought you got your balls back. Now your balls got cut off again. I know it's innocent till proven guilty, bro, but not a good look when you're already being considered, a little bit soft for pulling a motherfucking assault charge on a fight that you were scheduled to be in. Now you're beating up your pregnant wife, girlfriend. I don't know which one it is, if you guys are married yet or not. But nah, bro, it's not a good look for Devin Haney. This is like bitch strike number 2, right? This
is a big one. This is an amazing one.
Then he has the throwing the punch over his friend at the fucking fair. Doesn't even hurt the guy. Running around in wide leg like Devin. It's been a downward spiral for Devin since that.
That's going to be the defense. That his lawyer's going to be like, in his defense, he's got pillow hands, so he probably didn't do any major damage to her. Have you seen this? Have you seen this video of him sucker punching the guy at the fucking state fair? Hello.
Sucker punched the civilian. Didn't do anything, Your Honor. Come on.
Have you seen those videos of the squeaky sound when he hits the damn punching bag? Hello. Clearly, it was light punches.
Yeah, yeah.
But who knows if this is going to somehow keep him from fighting, Brian Norman Jr., which I think they said November in Saudi Arabia. At this point, of course, this is all new information, so we haven't heard anything left from right here. So I don't know. We don't know how this is going to progress. I know that the hearing is going to happen on the 22nd, so I guess we're going to get some information at that point. But do you think there's a chance that if this goes south for him, that fight with Brian Norman Jr. is pulled?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if he's on some kind of probation where he can't leave the country, we seen that with the UFC fighter this last weekend or 2 weekends ago, where one guy had an ankle monitor on, wasn't allowed to take it off. The judge didn't give him the permission, so he got pulled out of the fight. That can very well happen to Devin Haney if these are some serious charges. I want to say when you threaten someone, it is a terrorist threat now. That can bring a sentence of like 10 years, dude. Like they don't take especially domestic violence threats. We're not taking these lightly anymore. We have seen men kill their wives, their ex-wives, their girlfriends immediately after sending text messages like this, where everyone says, well, look, he fucking wrote it. You're going to get it in the street. She was shot the next day in the street. Like, you can't write stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so it's a bad look for him. If they have any type of evidence that he did put hands on her, if there's a police report, from last year that, they didn't see signs of abuse, but she did put it on record that she's saying he pushed her. Well, the judge is still going to say, hey, look, I don't think she's lying. You just happened to hit and bruise her that time. You know what I mean? I mean, he pushed her down on her tailbone. I don't know what the time frame of a bruise comes in on something like that. But, yeah, there's a lot of things that, yes, most definitely this charge, if it sticks, can keep him out of the fight with Brian Norman Jr. Yes.
Yeah, because if there's some sort of, let's say, probation, right? Chances are it'll be 6 months, we'll say, right? I mean, that's on the lighter side. We're in July, August, September, October, November. 4 months from now, chances are he's not going to be able to, leave the country to go, make money over here in Saudi Arabia.
And what did the text messages say? What if one says, next time I'm going to slap your ass?
Let me see, because there's some screenshots of the text messages. I want to go.
Yeah,
there's some of them here.
This could mean, I know the texting that isn't taken lightly in the court systems. That's like fucking you're guilty nowadays. Videos and text messages, bro.
Let's see here, writing himself out. All right, so I'm going to read some of these here real quick. It says, and I can't tell, damn, I don't know which one's which. Okay.
So, know I don't hit hard? Is that one of them?
Gosh. It's like, I ran for you for 3 minutes, right? You couldn't catch me. You couldn't even cut off the ring, bitch. Get the fuck up. Like you were rallying around with that.
If you really wanted to corner me, you can.
Exactly. All right. All the damn clinching I was doing this so you don't catch me. All right. Jeez. It says, I just went to sleep and woke up. You still going? Imagine you being that pressed. I don't know who that. I want to say that's her. And it says, you go back to sleep. I'm not pressed, not one bit. You talking shit to me, so I'm talking shit back. I assume that's his. All right, that's him. So then she goes, gosh, you act like a F. I mean, everything is what? Like you fucking him? It's your sister. Relax. Oh gosh, yeah, I don't know which one's which, but it's like you act like you fucking him. It's your sister. Relax. What that means? It says, I know y'all used to fuck with the same. This ain't that. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's what, and these guys are terrible fucking texting. But anyway, there is a part towards the very end that says, you the one that started it. Who gonna be handled in the street? No, what gonna be handled? What gonna be handled in the street? Question mark. And it says, you will see. Stop hitting me. Now stop hitting me. Oh, now stop hitting me. Like who could texting me? Okay, gotcha. Wow. Yeah. So these things are. Oh gosh, it's hard to read when people aren't. I mean, I'm assuming they're not exactly in the right frame of mind while they're texting this, so it's not like the sentences are clear and full sentences and complete sentences. But the one side does seem as though this is the side of and I think it's TMZ. If you go to the TMZ site, I think you can find some screenshots of the conversation. But it seems as though he's saying, "Oh yeah, you will see." So that part I can tell is from Devin. All right. Well, doesn't look. Oh, and then by the way, TMZ did go on to say that they reached out to representatives for Haney, but no comment. So they didn't get anything. Nothing from his side. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a minute before we hear anything from him or his pops, for that matter, because we know how loud his dad is. I doubt he's going to be able
Well,
to
no,
speak on the matter.
because and we won't, because this could be just a custody hearing. Now, look, if she they granted her custody right now, they put a restraining order until the judge looks at everything, right? Then he's going to get them both to come in. They're going to give their side of the story, and he's going to determine whether he feels that what's on paper is real, and Haney will not be able to see custody without supervision, maybe, right? He might have to pay like the city. What is it? It's some kind of supervision, monitoring while he's getting to see his kid.
Oh yeah. Monitor. No, what is it? Monitor, supervision.
Supervised visits.
Something.
Yeah, visits. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. So it could be something like that. It could, he might have to go to like anger management. That's if there's no cases connected to it. It's just her going, look, Your Honor, I need to break up with this man. He's the father of my child, but he's put hands on me that I did not report. But I'm just telling you, he's done this to me, and I feel unsafe. That's where the judge will probably grant him visitation rights, but supervised. It could be something like that, where this is what, and that's in that situation. The Haneys don't have to make a statement. This is a personal matter. They're going to go there because she, honestly, she didn't make a police report. From our knowledge, we've been doing a boxing show every Sunday for, I don't know, fucking, right, 15 years or something like that, Miguel. We never have seen anything that said Devin Haney arrested on domestic violence. Devin Haney has a court case for domestic violence. So I would have to assume that she has never called it in on him, at least where it made a big enough noise to reach us, the media. So with that being said, I think this is going to be more of a custody hearing that they're going in for. And she's just going to make an argument that she wants supervised visitation because he's been abusive.
Yeah, and according to what she says, one of the last slides in this particular post says, "This is not an isolated event of the danger he placed or places our daughter in without concern." So, according to her, it's something that is ongoing or has occurred before, and this is just the most recent one where she finally had enough.
The bigger one too is probably child support, right? Because if she gets granted full custody, well, then he has to pay. Goes through the roof. If he only has half custody, well, that saves him a few dollars. So there's also that in play here too, probably on this hearing that they're going to have, is who's going to take care of this baby and how much money will have to be spent to do that.
Oh yeah. And we know more often than not, it's going to end up being the mother who's going to end up taking care of her. And it's going to be Devin who's going to fork out. Oh, gosh, he's going to be I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like they're married, but, I guess there's only certain things that she's entitled to as far as this goes because they're not married. I don't even know how the fuck this works as far as marriage goes, because isn't Devin Muslim? Like, how does that work? Do Muslims have more than one wife? Don't they have like a bunch of wives or some shit like that? I don't know how it works in that particular religion, but
he might be able to have a few wives. I don't know, but he just converted to being Muslim, right?
Did he? I thought, wasn't it?
Was that Tank? One of them went to Riyadh. I thought one of them went to Riyadh recently and did it.
Oh shit! I don't know.
I think it was Devin, eh?
Yeah.
Because didn't Garcia? I thought not Garcia, Lopez. I thought Lopez threw a shot at Devin about that. Like it used to be God bless, and now it's Allah. Yeah, didn't Lopez? I thought Lopez threw a shot like at that to Devin in the press conference for that May fight. But I believe he just converted over. But yeah, it still wouldn't change the child support. He wouldn't have to pay the what is it, alimony? He wouldn't have to pay that because
Right.
they're
He would
not
have to pay.
married.
Yeah, spousal support. He would have
But
to pay that, but he would have
but
to pay.
child support could still be like $5,000 a month, 10 grand. It's, they're gonna
Oh
take a
shit! They're
percentage
gonna,
out of
they're gonna, dude. It's gonna be a big. Well, again, it would depend on the state, whatever state they're actually in, or I don't know if whatever state they live in or whatever state the child was born in, because they're not married. So I don't know to what extent that is, but it will depend on the state. And yeah, he's gonna
yours
get.
in Vegas.
Huh?
Doesn't it say there they live in Vegas?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they you're right. They did say. Let me go back to this here post real quick. Not hearing different. Oh, where the hell was it? Yeah, you're right. I'm probably
I
sure.
believe
Oh,
that,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She
Devin's from
claimed.
Vegas, bro.
Yeah, she claimed during a dispute in their Las Vegas home. That's when he
Yeah.
punched her. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Wow.
Because they moved from Oakland, I think. That was their story in the beginning, right? They were from Oakland, and he moved them to Vegas for his boxing.
Damn. Well, Devin, you're in for it, dude. I don't know. If your best bet is that these allegations are false, but holy shit, if they're not, you are going to be in for it hardcore, man. This is going to be another one of your like bitch cards we're pulling on Devin with this, because what a way to go. Damn it, things were going so well. Well, I don't say so well, but I mean like he was trying in the process of recovering his fucking manhood, right? His balls, and then this shit happens.
Can't be more of a coward than pushing down a pregnant woman.
Mm.
I mean, it's bad to push a woman either way, but now you're talking pregnant, bro. Like,
yeah, with your kid.
Yeah, punching in the stomach. Like, it's all bad, man. It's all bad.
Oh boy. All right. Well, moving on. Continuing on the topic of Muslims. Well, I'm not sure if he's Muslim, but anyway. Turki al-Sheikh.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say.
Okay. Because I get Muslim and I get Islamic. I get those two mixed up all the fucking time.
So it's the same. Is it the same?
I don't know. No, I don't think it's the same. I think one is like a ethnicity. One's I don't fucking know. This is the education system here in the United States, folks. But I don't believe so. I want to say they're separate, but regardless, last week we were on a mission to do some research in regards to what we've heard, at least, of one Turki al-Sheikh having both Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez by his side. But what means what exactly? There has been a lot of talk about how standing on the right side. Oh gosh, here we go. My camera just had to decide to be all stupid. Standing on one's right side means that you're, in like Flint. I guess you're a shoo-in. You're on their good side. However, if you stand on their left side, that doesn't exactly mean it's good stuff for you. This is what I was able to look up. This is what I think this is like AI basically.
Hey, Miguel,
gave me this. What's up?
I'm gonna straighten it out for you, bro, because you're right. Now I'm the jackass.
I get it mixed up all the time. I do.
No, you can get nothing mixed up. You have it right. It's not the same. Islam is the religion. Muslim is the term of it for an individual who practices or follows the religion of Islam. It's sort of
it's close enough, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly, bro. But you had the right answer. It would be no. They are not the same as in the same meaning, but it is the same ballpark. One, Islam is the religion. Muslim is the follower of that religion. So you were right. That's a good trick question, bro. That's a trick question right there. You could give a trivia for that one.
It's Trivial Pursuit. We got it right. We got around the money.
Shabazz should do that on New York. Should ask, do you know Berlanga? Nope, don't know Berlanga. Is Muslim and Islam? Is that the same thing?
Like, hey, yo, fuck, what the hell? Berlanga in his fucking dirty ass mouth. But in regard, I know, right? It's like
so stupid.
Yeah. It's like, this means it's the same thing right here, huh? How about that? Is this the same thing to you? Huh?
Do I look like a gangster with my toy finger gun on stage? The fucking kid, man. Oh, yeah. One day he's going to look back at that video and go, yeah, that was me. That was me on stage.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead. What were we talking about? I know I skipped.
That's okay. I don't mind it at all. But we were doing a little bit of research from last week. We were asking if what has been said all over online in regards to what side of Turki Al-Sheikh Crawford stands in and what side Canelo stands in, right? And it has been said that standing on his right side means they're good, means you're in with him, means that you're favored, means that they think highly of you to put you on their right side as opposed to being on the left. And then after going through all these clips and pictures, it sure is hella funny that Crawford is on his right side. Maybe there might be some exceptions, but by and large, Crawford is usually on Turki's right side and Canelo is on his left. Well, after doing 30 seconds of research, I was able to find some information here that might be worth noting. In Arab cultures, as in many other cultures, the right hand holds significant importance, and is associated with cleanliness, respect, and honorable actions. All right. Here is how it manifests in customs. Cleanliness and hygiene. The left the left hand is traditionally used for personal hygiene, such as cleaning oneself and after using the restroom. All right. Therefore, the right hand is considered the clean hand for other activities. Other stuff have to do with the forks on the right side, whatever the fuck. But given receiving, doing handing stuff over or handshaking kind of stuff. So anyway, I just thought that was funny that's what popped up because a lot of people are under the impression that Canelo might be set up here. It seems as though Turki is kind of against him, I guess we can say, right? And it's not exactly far-fetched after reading a recent quote of one Turki Al-Sheikh who this quote is directed to Shakur Stevenson, saying, we, I don't know who the fuck is we have a surprise for Shakur on Saturday night, a ring that shrinks as the fight goes on. Shakur says he is ready to deliver a beatdown of William Cepeda, and I know the Mexican is prepared for the challenge of the biggest fight of his life. Okay, so it's obvious that he said it before, right? I mean, I don't remember the exact quote, but he's saying, we have special things in mind for Cepeda winning and for Shiraz winning as well. So it's no secret that he shows a lot of favoritism. And when I sent this to you, Andrew, you gave me an immediate response. What was it that you said immediately when you saw that quote?
If I was Shakur, I'd pull out of the fight.
Oh, damn.
I mean, this is not boxing, bro. Look, I'm hoping that the guy. What did you say? He's not too social. He doesn't interact socially.
Yeah, he's an awkward guy. Yeah.
I'm hoping this is one of his awkward jokes that no one got in the room, right? We all kind of like giggled and said, "Is he telling the truth? The fuck? Are we really gonna have a ring that shrinks, Miguel?" It's a joke. It's a joke, right? I hope it's a joke, but I don't really have the confidence that it is or it isn't.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can't even fathom how the hell that's even possible. So I would like to think that he's just being, joking. But I mean, it's like it's obvious that his favoritism is showing in that direction, or at least in favor of Cepeda. I don't know. I mean, is he low key trying to say, look, Cepeda has a plan for you to not run as much? Now, what exactly that means, you'll be able to cut off the ring. That's what he's talking about. The ring will shrink. All right, that's a little bit more cryptic. He's talking in code kind of thing, right?
Read that thing again, because I don't see no cryptic nothing in that.
He says, bro, we have a surprise for Shakur on Saturday night, a ring that shrinks as the fight goes on. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to take as literal. I don't think, obviously, but I have to assume that he has come up. Now, here's the thing. I've watched some recent fights of Shakur, right? Just to kind of like brush up or give myself a refresher. I certainly hope that the referees are fair enough to give him plenty of warnings. Shakur, I'm talking about, for clinching. Because I know that I'm fairly confident that Cepeda is going to come forward, throw combinations, try to pin him against the ropes, maybe try cornering him and cutting off the ring. And I'm almost certain that Shakur is going to do a lot of clinching. He gets too close, he's
I
going to
hear you
clinch
that.
to get around. So I would love for the referee to stay on top of that, to keep on like, hey, enough of this fucking clinching. Is that what Turkey's talking about? Like, I'm going to put in a referee in there that's not going to take any shit from Shakur. Like, dude, enough of the fucking clinching. Could that be what Turkey's talking about?
You know, there once was an old saying: if they're clinching, they're not punching. So that should give the opponent an advantage. What happened to that? I don't want to blame a fighter being a fighter holding is the reason why the other guy couldn't punch him. That actually should have worked in his favor.
Mm.
So I'm not into rule changing this late in the game, dude. I don't, look, and this comes from. I remember the Mayweather Guerrero fight where it was ridiculous how many times Floyd Mayweather had to hold Robert Guerrero the night that he faced him. But I still blamed Robert for not punching through it. I blamed Robert for not getting those points, for clinching back or looking at the ref and going, oh, what's going on? Put your head in there, right?
Yeah.
Get him off with your head. I bet you he won't like getting headbutted every time he tries to come in and hug you, right? Or throw your punches, man. If he's holding, just keep hitting that body. Get whatever arms loose. You keep working something. The judges will see. They will be able to do. And I'm not saying Mayweather Guerrero. I'm not talking about that fight. I'm talking about all the other ones. So I don't want Rihad, His Excellency, to be changing anything about boxing. Boxing is fine how boxing was. Yes, are all fights fucking Gotti Ward and we put them all into the classics category? No, not at all. But that's what makes some fights some nights special, right? That's what makes them memorable. I got to tell you, sometimes too good of one thing can even get old, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We're seeing that a lot. And even the other sport, the UFC, and I know I bring up the MMA a lot, but that was a sport that was thriving on their fights being fast, knockouts, exciting, right? But I bet you there's not too many people that can name every exciting fight that's ever happened in the UFC. They can't tell you every memorable night because they're all like that. It's a fucking bloodfest. The bell rings, two guys go in, they fucking go at it. Yes, sometimes you have two Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys that will make it pretty technical, but most of the time it's hammer fisting and fucking whoever gets who's down first and is beating the shit out of them. That's what I see. And I don't think the fans can name every memorable fight that's ever happened because there's been a lot of them because the thing is kind of programmed to be a fast, quick knockout kind of thing. The size of the gloves brings the knockouts quicker. So going back to boxing, that's what makes those certain nights special, right? I don't want every fight to be Gotti Ward because then Gotti Ward won't be fucking special.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want every.
If everybody's special, then nobody's special.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And no one's going to make the biggest money. No one's going to be the biggest draw. Just the same thing that's happening over there, you guys, is where the fighters really need to pay attention to what's going on over there, right? We do want a Floyd Mayweather, a Muhammad Ali, a Sugar Ray Leonard, a De La Hoya, Roy Jones. And these guys weren't the most offensive fighters every night. The names I just named off were not the most offensive fighters every single night that they fought. Yet those are legends in this sport. So I really like to see His Excellency back off with all this talk about, the whole, we want to put an incentive in here. We'll give you a 50 grand to knock someone out. The guys are making $1 million. Fuck your 50 grand. Your 50 grand gets lost in fucking taxes, dude. The 50 grand ain't going home. They're already being taxed shit. They're already in a tax bracket that says fuck your 50 grand. So it's the Dana White TKO situation. Don't like that. And I'm sorry if I'm being naive, humble, or whatever by taking him by his word when he says we're going to have a shrinking ring. He gave me nothing to say that that's not what he was talking about. He's given me nothing else. Are you Cepeda's trainer? You know his game plan. You know you're kind of insinuating that he knows Cepeda's game plan and Cepeda's going to be able to stream. Are they talking? Yeah, I've never heard that, so I'm not going to just. I'm taking the fucking shit for what it says. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, they're talking because the way he said it here, he said we have a surprise. Like he's just on, Cepeda's side or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
See, I was thinking Rihad. I'm thinking he's talking about the prince. You got to remember, His Excellency always brings up the prince because I don't think he can fucking walk around and say, "Oh yeah, I made this decision. Yeah, I made this decision." When we know it's how that country's ran, everything gets ran through the prince. His Excellency has even said it. Rihad, all this has been put together by the prince, and he's just the messenger. So is that who he means? We as in Rihad. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing that they're doing over there. So it's really interesting to see. What a bitch of a fight. What a bitch of a move. If you really put in a ring. Have you ever seen a professional sport? They go, "Oh no, you have too much of an advantage. We're going to change the whole concept of the fucking game so the other team gets a fair shot." Like when the Rams were the fastest guys on turf, did you see the NFL go, "Oh no, we're going to take turf out now. No, you guys are the fastest team on turf. Well, fuck that. You're not playing on turf this weekend." I'm like, what? Talk about Wild Wild West. Talk about, it not being taken seriously. What a knock on us if that does. If there's some fucking way that they were able to build this fucking ring.
It's like, wouldn't that be crazy? I know it said like as the fight goes on, but it would be crazy if like there was like a different ring. There's like a different ring that was smaller for this fight. Oh,
if
gosh.
it's retractable, that means there would be a level. You're talking about it. You know what I'm saying? There's no fucking way. What are they going to stop it? Remove a late? No, it has to be.
The plyboards, like remove the shit. Oh, good lord! Like shrink the ropes, guys.
No way, right? He's
in between the rounds. In between the rounds, as the fight goes on.
He doesn't know how to deliver a joke. We've got to think that he just doesn't know how to deliver a joke. But we will see. I like the fight. I like boxing. I like the fact, you hit to not get hit used to be a point, right, for the fighter. Now all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, you don't know how to fight. What? You don't get punched." Stupid. Like, dude. You invested in the wrong sport if you're looking for blood and guts and fucking, no hold bars. Dead ass. Is that how the young kids say it? Dead ass got into the wrong fucking sport, right? Fuck out of here, man.
So on that note, I want to talk about that because that's this is how I wanted to end the show, is to lead into our preview of the fight that's coming up, because it is coming up this Saturday. We're going to highlight, of course, the two main fights on the card being Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda for the WBC Lightweight Championship, and Edgar Berlanga taking on Hamza Shiraz in the super middleweight bout that is supposedly, at least according to one Turki Al-Sheikh, that the winner, who I'm assuming they're trying to lean towards Shiraz, to take on Canelo Alvarez after this fight. So we already touched on it, and technically it's kind of the co-main event, I guess. Shakur Stevenson for the William Cepeda. How we think the fight's going to go and who we think is going to win is going to be our prediction, of course, and how the fight ends, or how the winner wins. So we're going to start with that. Andrew, let's go ahead and get started with that one. Shakur Stevenson defending his WBC lightweight title against William Cepeda. How do you see that fight going, first and foremost? Secondly, who do you see winning? And lastly, how do you see them winning? This is a prediction show. These are predictions.
Yeah. Look, I've always favored American boxers over everyone. I don't think that changes in this fight.
Even with everything we just said?
Well, the shrinking ring, all that. If it's a shrinking ring, it's a no. I turn the fight into a no contest. It's not even real to me. Dead ass. I'm going to say dead ass or not.
Oh, gosh. Is that how you want it? It's that's going to be your new nickname. Like,
from?
Andrew,
where I got that from.
Andrew, don't get it twisted. I mean, dead ass. Andrew, dead ass.
Oh, yeah, that could have worked there, too. No, you know what I'm saying, dude. Yes. The fight it's a fucking wash if they really do something stupid like that. I know they're not.
Yeah.
I hate that the fucker can't deliver a joke, though.
But do you think that that is going to somehow maybe change the judging of the fight, maybe the reffing of the ref, stuff like that, that are leaning towards perhaps Cepeda trying to not make it a Scooby Doo, no, not Scooby Doo, what is it, Tom and John and Jim and Jerry type,
Tom and
right?
Jerry.
Yeah.
And then did you hear what he said about the Catterall fight, though?
Oh no, I missed the Catterall fight. What do you say about that?
So then he put, this is Jerry versus Jerry. This is not boxing. His Excellency, yeah, His Excellency then knocked, I guess, the Catterall fight for being too much of.
Well, because they were flopping all over the ring, they were falling and shit. Like,
toe to toe, not enough, skill maybe involved. Yeah, we might want to look that one up. But then he made a comment about it not being technical enough this weekend. So, with that being said, where was I going? Where was I going before that?
Oh, so you usually favor American boxing boxers over? Yeah.
Yes. And Shakur does fit that category. The guy has great skill set, right? He's defense is second to none. He will be in the lead in this fight, in my opinion. That doesn't mean he's the winner at the end. Mexicans against Americans, sometimes their skill set, their power, their determination is able to overcome the natural skills of the Americans, right? Their speed, their defense. So it's not unheard of that a Mexican can come over here and beat a great Mexican fighter can't come over here and beat a great American boxer. And so Cepeda is going to have that. He has the skill set to break Shakur down, to get him on the ropes, out punch him, start working him. But he won't be in the lead while this is happening. I think it's going to be one of those fights where he's always fighting from the back, and it's going to be his output that breaks Shakur down, slows him down, and maybe he can pull it out in the late rounds of just bringing it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a Chavez-like Taylor fight for that to happen, where he's just playing from the back all the way, and it's a matter of if your power is going to slow him down, because I've never seen Cepeda fight like Shakur, where I think he's going to outskill him, outpoint him. You know what I mean? This is about power, placement, and just pressure. Can he walk through the fire to get to Shakur? It's a brush fire. It's not a heavy fire. We know that. He's not the heaviest of punchers, but he still has, he still brings it to on the offensive side. Injuries also could be a play effect for Shakur, right? He's had a few hand injuries. So Cepeda has an avenue to win here. But I have favor Shakur in this fight because he's in his prime. I think that he's peaking right now, and I've always kind of leaned towards the boxer over the aggressive fighter. It was really Chavez that kind of changed that whole changed that whole storyline that a boxer always beat the aggressive fighter. But for the most part, it's always the boxer that wins that fight, and that's Shakur in this one.
All right. Do you see that going that direction then? Shakur by decision? I don't think he
by
stopped
decision. Yeah, definitely by decision. This fight's 12 rounds all the way.
All right.
If it does get stopped, it would be the pressure of Cepeda, maybe a hand injury coming down, and then Cepeda just being too much and Shakur not being able to get him off. So if I was going to go with the knockout, it would be Cepeda late in the fight. And that would be for the one of my big money parlay bets would be a Cepeda by stoppage. By knockout, I mean it matters what they're giving on the decision, to be honest with you, bro. It's not unheard of, right? Castillo should have outboxed Mayweather. He should have won that fight on decision, yet they didn't give it to him. How many punches does Cepeda outpunch Shakur on the punch outputs? Is he a very active fighter, Cepeda?
Yes, definitely. I don't know like stats right off the hand, but I know Zepeda doesn't stop punching. Like he'll start throwing from the beginning of the fight, and it'll be the 10th, 11th round, and he'll be throwing the exact same numbers. So the only times I've ever seen him kind of slow down were when he got dropped by Tevin Farmer, and he kind of was like a little bit on defense for the rest of that round, and I think a little bit at the beginning of the following round. But really beyond that, no, dude, this guy throws and throws and throws. So as far as punch output, at least in the recent Shakur fights, yeah, he absolutely like fucking, what's the word? He beats Shakur easily as far as punch output goes.
Yes, that's a big. That's going to play big into the injury part. See how brittle Shakur's hands are, because we know Cepeda walks through fire, right? That's his
Mhm.
game plan, and I mean, Shakur is going to have to land some shots on that head. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight, but I'll lean towards Shakur on decision.
So as of right now, the results not like proper or anything like that. Results: Shakur Stevenson is at minus 1200, while William Zepeda is at plus 600. So he's winning,
Wow,
bro.
so they got him really as an
They got
underdog,
him,
bro.
yeah, super fucking underdog, yeah.
6-1. You really never see that. Okay, so they're looking at they're gauging him off of that Farmer fight, because I know we
Mm,
weren't impressed with Cepeda on that Farmer fight.
mm,
Um, and it has to be the opposition.
sure,
That's, I mean, come on, their records don't call for 6-1, right? So
yeah.
so the bookie, someone's looking at something else, and it'd have to be that Cepeda has looked special, but he's looked special against a lot lesser opponents. So we will see Saturday night who Cepeda is, but that's a big number. That's a big, especially because he's a Mexican fighter. You know, the gambling's heavy on Mexican fighters, so it shouldn't be that. Oh, it's just Shakur's taking all the money in gambling, so it's bring. No way. Was that an open line, or is that just the money line right now? What
It
did it
looked like
open at? Does it
oh
say
shit,
that?
no, not on this app. At least I got the Bet MGM app, and it's just showing fight results, Stevenson and Cepeda, but it isn't giving me no
What it
props or what
opened?
it opened up it originally. No.
Okay.
But I want to say I kind of suspect that this fight is going to be rough from beginning. I think Cepeda knows that he can't give rounds or at least allow give away rounds to Shakur. So I think Cepeda is going to start fast. I'm not sure if what you said is accurate in regards to where Cepeda is going to be fighting from behind pretty much the whole time, like behind on points on the scorecards. I think he knows right off the bat that he can't give away those early rounds. I kind of suspect it'll start almost like let's say Maidana and Broner or something like that. Like he's going to start fast. And granted, that one ended up being a decision for Maidana. I'm not sure if Cepeda wins the decision against Shakur, but if he does, it's going to have to be that way. It's going to be jumping on Shakur right off the bat and giving the judges the impression that he's outworking Stevenson, even if the punches aren't doing as much damage as maybe they would have done with other opponents. But to make it clear that he is like outworking Shakur, I think that's how he wins the early rounds. And if he can keep that up, I don't think Shakur can come back from that. I think Shakur's going to probably end up losing a decision in that kind of fight. I'm leaning towards Zepeda. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for Zepeda because I want him to win. But damn, that one's tough. It's almost like if it happens and if the fight ends in a knockout, it's going to be from Zepeda beating Shakur. But if the fight ends in a decision, it's going to be Stevenson beating Zepeda. That one's a tough one. Um, all right, so then that sends us to our our main event, I guess, right? Edgar Berlanga taking on Hamza Shiraz. So going on the what is it? The odds on this one here. Berlanga is the slight favorite at minus 110, with Hamza Shiraz coming in at. Oh, actually, you know what? So how does this work, dude? This is like a pick'em fight, right? Berlanga is minus 110. Shiraz is minus 125.
Yeah, it's a pick'em fight. 110 minus 125.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They don't feel there's a big favorite in this one at all. They're
Hmm.
not giving any money. I mean, look at that. They're not giving any underdog there. You
Yeah.
got to put up 100 to win anything back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Or
true.
you got to put up. You said 115. It's minus what now?
Oh, sorry. So for Berlanga, minus 110. For Shiraz is minus 125.
Yeah. No, you got to put up over. You got to put up money to win back $100 on both of them. That's really weird. There must be no action on that fight, bro. Swear to God, there can't be any action on that fight because
No.
it's not even. They haven't even moved the line at all. Nobody has made there an underdog yet. It's because they're not taking any bets.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, in a draw with Stevenson and Shakur. I mean, sorry, Shakur and Cepeda, plus 2,000. That's if it's a draw.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's I mean, look at Sherbaz, whatever. Shiraz.
Some Shazam. You've been done.
I know. Hey, we don't know this guy. This guy is being force fed to us.
Yeah, he is.
By His Excellency. You know, this is lightweight Jake Paul without the YouTube views, right? They dressed him up in a suit. They got him looking real good. We have no idea who the fuck he is. Who even bought him that suit? I don't think he bought it. I think His Excellency bought it for him because he wants him to look good. He wants him to be sharp for when he puts him in with Canelo. So whatever. And then fucking Berlanga. I mean, this guy, Berlanga is turning out more and more to me to be like a poor man's Gabe Rosado to boxing than a Miguel Cotto to boxing or a Camacho. Was Camacho from America? Was Camacho born in America?
I don't think so. I can
Was
pull
he
it up
born
here
in
real
Puerto
quick.
Rico and then moved to America?
I believe so.
Because there was a reason why the Puerto Ricans didn't they liked Gomez over him. And I think is he moved to America. But either way, Berlanga just he's kind of douchey, bro. Like he's the kind of cat you don't want to hang around with. Seriously. I'm sure everyone that he hangs around with is just there for the money. He's gotten like no solids because he acts so fucking weird. That thing that he did on stage, the gun, shooting the gun, what was that all about? Like, bro, you're a boxer. You're a professional boxer. Why are we pretending like we're shooting people? Is that what you're really going to do? You're going to try to shoot the guy? Huh? Is that, yeah, we're ready to throw away our lives like our father did? Go to prison for a fucking decade? Is that really cool? Just total, him and Chavez Jr. I'm just not in the mood tonight for the bullshit. These guys got everything, bro. And they're over here acting like jackasses. I'm your Canelo. No, you're not. You're a fucking stepping stone. I mean, that's a nice way. That's a nice way to make you sound big, make you sound like you're the A side. I'm Canelo to you. The fuck? You're one way away from that guy having a career. That's what you are for. That's what you are to Sherbaz. What'd you say?
Shiraz.
Shiraz. Damn it, I'll get you. I'll get your name.
We'll get there by next week after the victory over Berlanga.
I hope it's a victory. Now listen, this is where I go back to. I pick Americans over everything because I got to tell you, Berlanga, although he's douchey and got a dumbass attitude that I don't know why he walks around thinking he's a gangster. The dude's been sparring. The dude's been trained in America. Shiraz has been trained at God knows where. So I'm going to stick with my homegrown fighter and say that they put that kid up too far. Now, with that being said, don't get it twisted. It's just a fucking decision. It's going Shiraz's way all the way. It's going to be that or a draw, but it will not be a decision for Berlanga unless he totally dominates this kid and drops him 2 times. It's going to be a split decision either way. Or a draw if he's supposed to lose. Because Riyadh is not looking to put Berlanga versus Canelo 2 anywhere.
And frankly, Canelo is not interested in no fucking rematch with him either. It's like, come on, dude, I just whooped his ass and I fucking schooled him for as many rounds. There's no point in having a rematch here. So, I mean, and Berlanga knows it himself, right? If you watch the face-off, he says that he's like, they got a plan for you, dude. I know they got a plan for your ass. So, talking about, Turki and Riyadh season in the event that he does beat Berlanga. But, I mean, really, I don't think Canelo's interested. I mean, Canelo would want some fresh blood. He wants fresh meat. If it turns out that that Shiraz wins and wins a pretty decisive way, yeah, he's going to get Canelo next, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was always the plan. That was always once I seen the way he was interacting with over there with them guys in Riyadh. This was always the plan, was to put him as the face. We talked about they needed a face, yada, yada, yada. We could see the young man he does he will be able to sell tickets, right? He's got a good look. They put him in a suit. He looked like a professional athlete, right? Handsome dude, sells some tickets. So he's gonna be fine as long as his skills can match how fast they're pushing him. Unfortunately, I haven't seen enough tape on him to really gauge what he's gonna be like. So I'm just going off of too fast, too soon. That's an American elite contender. I expect Berlanga to win this fight. I really do.
Do you anticipate him taking him out? He's gonna.
Yes.
I mean, because we said, the only way he's gonna win really is by. We don't think he's gonna completely dominate Shiraz. We don't think that's the direction it'll go, because chances are, if it goes to decision, it's gonna go in the direction of Shiraz. So, you're saying Berlanga takes it. If he takes it, it's gonna be KO.
Knockout, yes, sir. Because Berlanga has that power that if you're not ready, you don't want to be in the ring with Berlanga's power. And you're taking flush shots. The moment was too big. Definitely getting knocked out in 12 rounds.
All right. Well, I might have to go the other direction. I suspect that Shiraz has enough skill to keep Berlanga at bay, and as long as he can survive the 12 rounds, we're almost damn sure that the direction, the victory or the decision is going to go in Shiraz's corner. So I suspect that's probably the direction it's going to go. I do think Shiraz has enough skill to at least hold off and keep Berlanga at bay. Although it would be pretty tight though if Berlanga comes in and totally mops the floor with him. That'd be pretty tight. And if we're talking about making an impact and maybe making a case for a possible rematch, whether or not he gets it is another story. But to make a case at least for another possible rematch against Canelo, then this is the best way to do it, is by taking out Shiraz and in impressive fashion. So I don't think that's going to happen, though. I'm leaning towards Shiraz, considering how much promotional oomph they got behind him, and more often than not, when that's the case, those judges are going to tend to give those close rounds to somebody like him, especially over there. Unfortunately, that's just the name. It comes to the territory. That's the nature of the beast, and I suspect Shiraz might come away with the decision. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure if Berlanga's got the kind of pop to beat somebody or to finish somebody like Shiraz. I think Shiraz can take the shots. All right, but anyway, that being said, we will see next weekend, because that's going to be how we're going to kick off next weekend's show. We're going to be talking about the results of the fight. Yeah, there are other fights on the card, and I'm sure we're going to talk about them then, but these are the two major ones, which is why those are the ones that we wanted to actually get going and talk about, of course. So, Andrew, anything else you want to toss in here before we call it a night?
No. Congratulations to Mexico winning the Gold Cup, defending their crown today on the Gold Cup against the USA.
Yeah,
it was a 2-1, and also just not a good look for America. They got dominated, really. I know that score seems like that game was a lot closer than what it was, but it wasn't. Mexico dominated probably from the third minute to the final minute. Yeah. Right after America scored, they got shut down, basically. I feel they got close to the goal again, bro. I know my wife's saying, no, they had like 5 goal attempts. Must have been some far shots, bro.
Is that signs of things to come with Shakur and Cepeda, or maybe even Canelo and Crawford, maybe,
there you go. Yes.
Oh shit, bring it back together, coming full circle. But we will talk about that next week, because we're going to talk about those results. So that pretty much does it for us here today. Thank you all for joining us. For my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, or dead ass Lapache. This has been Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs. Thank you for joining us. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will see you guys next weekend. Take care and peace.